And for those who are new on my channel, please subscribe now, because you're not gonna regret it. And yes, another day, another ASMR video, as you might be familiar. I just found this map on the web, and I find it quite interesting because it represents races of Europe, and joining portion of Asia and Africa. And it's a map that is from the past century. Yeah, it's from 1919. And yes, it shows us how, at that time, the races were distributed European territory. This will be quite interesting session, right? First, let's read the legend. I'm gonna zoom in. Yes. And with blue, we have the Basques. Wow. Basques. Greco-Latins. Wow. Albanians. Greeks. Italians, Spanish, Portugals with the same ochre, let's say, color. French, Romanians, Celts with yellow, Teutons, wow, Dutch, Germans, British, and the Slavs are with the green colors that are different nuances depending on their origins. Czech Slavs, Western Slav, Little Russians or Ukrainians, and Baltoslavs. Well, this is different, easier to spot. And with, let's say, with violet, faded violet, Turks, Magyars, and Finns. Alright, spotting them on the map will be quite challenging, but let's start. Let's see what we have. Good, so there is, yeah. Good, and in England and United Kingdom here, the Welsh, and yeah, Irish. Well, Welsh as well in Ireland. Welsh, Croatian, English, so well, North Sea, what else? Bretons with yellow here, Bretons on breast, Bretons, signless hair, and the French people, yeah, the entire France is with French people, good, Moravians, Saxons, yeah, the Saxons, and maybe Moravians in this area. Okay, so Western Silesia, Western Silesia. Alright, the rest Western Austrians, Germans, Low Germans and High Germans. So Low Germans and High Germans. Okay. Flemings in Belgium, Flemings, yeah. Frisians in the northern part of Netherlands, and maybe in northern part of Germany. Maybe these areas here with a different pattern, with a diagonal pattern, maybe these are combined. Okay, cost. We have here different color, and here we can see that we have some spots over the map. So definitely these are restrained communities of Germans, which are in, judging by the combined with Prussians, old Prussians. These were in the Poland area. Silesians, so it's Ruthenians, and Slovaks, because here we have the Czech Republic now, but back then in 1990 it was Czechoslovakia. Freshly formed Czechoslovakia. Right, well, now, here comes the most interesting part, because in Central and Eastern Europe there were a lot of minorities. For example, we can see that here in Hungary, which are Magyars here, though originating from Hungary. There are also small or communities of Austrians and Germans, you might see here. As well, if we travel to Romania, here is the map of Romania, and we see that in the center of Romania there is a strong community of Magyars. In the present day. Wow. If you're curious, this area here is Transylvania. And in this area is the area of Banat, where my city stands. And here is a strong community of Germans. That's why in my city the third spoken language was German. First Romanian, second Hungarian, and third German. Good. So, strong communities of Austrians and Germans, but here we have Germans and Germans. And as well in Transylvania there are a lot of German communities, even now. Besides that, Romania is the majority of people are Romanians, of course. Good. We can see that, for example, there are Slovens in the Slovenian area. Slavonians, in the Croatia and Serbia area. Croats, and Serbs living together. Now we are in the Balkan Peninsula. Here, this area is the another part of Banat, and is there are small communities of Romanians as well in this area, but now this area here is near with the border with Romania, and there are plenty of small communities of Romanians, and of course there are entire villages that are speaking in Romanian language, RP language, Serbian and Romanian. These are the Low Slavs, as well from Serbia, Bulgarians, and here this area are mixed Bulgarians with Romanians and Turks. Here it's Dobroja, another part of Romania geographically, on the east of Danube River. Here is the Danube River, and this area is a combination of, there are mixed communities of Turks, Bulgarians, and even Greeks, and of course Romanians, which are the majority. Bulgarians at the south of the Danube. We can guess that here is the current Moldova. Again, here is a mixed population of Romanians, Moldovans, and Russians or Ukrainians. So this area here, and for example, there are very small communities, very interesting, of Germans in Moldova and in Ukraine. Well, back in 1919, well, their borders looked quite different than in modern time, in the present day. So make an abstraction of that. First, Zaporozhye, and here we have the Little Russians. Yes, very interesting name, Little Russians, or Ukrainian. So these are combined here. This is the current territory of Ukraine. Ruthenians, this is the north of Romania, and the Ruthenians are somehow even on Slovakia now, and as well in northern Hungary. Slovaks and Ruthenians. We gonna know Western Odessa. Good. Prussians, like I said. Prussians here in the northern part of Poland, where now is Kaliningrad, the exclave, Russian exclave Kaliningrad. And here are some Prussians. Well, Prussians, and this was, from history that I know, is that this territory in the Middle Ages was the Teutons, the Order of Teutons. Good. Well, we are with the darker, a little bit darker green, or different ones of green. We have the white Russians on the eastern side of Poland. Let's say, if to make a, we are here, and judging by the current modern borders, here we are in Belarus. Alright. Again, there's a few German communities here. Maybe these are strong because they are represented on the map, so they are strong community of Germans, but very restricted. Small communities. White Russians, and here are mixed races of Lithuanians I think, Lithuanians and Lettonians. And we arrive in the Baltic areas, and the Estonians are in the north where Estonia is now. But very interesting, yeah, the Lithuanians and Lettonians are with the same color and they are sharing the same territory. But now Lithuania and Lithuania or Latvia, this is the English real name, Latvia, which is with Lettons. They are different states, but yeah, they are comprised in the same color. Gulf of Finland, so now we're gonna cross and we're gonna travel in Finland. Well, in Finland there are Finns, well, period, Finns, a lot of Finns. And there are no other communities, at least I cannot spot something else, just a few mixed communities near the border with Russia, which that means that there are mixed communities of Finns and Russians or Slavs, not Russian Slavs. And here we have a different kind of representation. Let's see on the legend what that means. Well, that means they are not Armenians. Well, that could be Armenians. Maybe Armenians there. I don't know. So they could be Armenians here because it has the these representations. Alright, and here we have some comprehensive representation of communities. These are what is here? Very hard to, quite challenged to read because combined Norwegians with Finns. Norwegians, which these are with white. Scandinavians, well, all of them is Scandinavians beside Finns. And they are the Swedes. So these are mixed communities here in the northern part between those three countries, Finns, Scandinavia, Finns, Swedes and Norwegians. Here we have Denmark, and Denmark is represented by the Danes. Danes. Alright, here we have the Basque country, let's say, but it's part of Spain now, and is represented by the Basques. Well, I think this is the perfect different color that can resemble a race. Very easy to spot Basques with this light cyan blue. Okay, Catalans in the Catalonia area, and so what's the Gascons in the southern France. Well, it's alright, it's the Gascons. Mexicans, Sardinians, and Sicilians, Calabrians, yes, Calabrians in the Calabria area. Alright, we are back in the Balkan Peninsula, Albanians in Albania. But you may see here there are mixed communities of Albanians with Serbs. Yeah, mixed here in the south. There are Greece area, and there are Greeks, people, mixed communities in the north with Bulgarians and Albanians and North Macedonians, and we arrived in Turkey, Asia Minor, or Close Asia, Asia Minor, Asia Minor. Well, Asia Minor is a term from Romans. They entitled this area Asia Minor, which is Close Asia. So, Turks, Greeks. Okay, we have Greeks communities on the northern shore or coast of Turkey on the Black Sea. And yeah, this is the area of Constantinople, which is now Istanbul, former Constantinople, now Istanbul. Mixed races of Turks and Greeks. And you may see that in this area, very interesting, but this is a historical fact, on the area of the Aegean coast of Turkey, they were strong communities of Greeks. You may see, because there are Greeks here. They were expelled. Meanwhile. So, games. And in Cyprus, well, here is another interesting fact that Cyprus here is represented as being Greek, and yes, this is before the arrival of the Turks. Oh, good. Here are Armenians, because this is their representations. Armenians, this area, but very interesting, because now Armenia is just a small country here that has close border with Turkey, but back then, if we want to see from a different perspective, this area here, which is quite big and covers even parts of Iran and Iraq, they were very. There were many Armenian communities, or was controlled, but the majority of the area was settled and controlled by Armenians. Chechens, Lesgians, and Circassians, Georgians, yes, community of Georgia, near Georgia, and Persians, they are living now in Iran, because the Iran people, they are not Arab people, they are originating from Persians, even if they are Muslims, they are Persians, so they are not Arab people. Persians. and here Russia, current Russia, Kalmucks, community of mixed Kalmucks, Kyrgyz, and Rukais. Even in I zoomed in max, and it's quite hard to read some letters. Now, see offers of mixed communities in Crimea and Ukraine now. Well, these are the Great Russians, right? See, yeah, with a little bit darker, a stronger green, the Great Russians, and the Cossacks, famous Cossacks. Pians, Ural Cossacks, and these are Don Cossacks. I don't think these are on Urals. There are a lot of letters here, so very hard for me to identify from which words they're belonging. Great Russia, I presume. Great Russia. And Moscovians. Well, I didn't know that those from around Moscow, they're called Moscovians. It's the first time when I see these type of races represented on a map. Moscovians, where all of them were Slavs, right? Slavs. Moscovians. Great Russia and Eastern Slavs. These are the Eastern Slavs. So go, and here are mixed communities again. Well, is there a part that I didn't cover yet? No. Well, maybe, well, I cannot see what is on the modern day Israel. So, modern day Israel, sort of. No. Those representations. I think I covered them all right. If I missed something, just tell me. Oh yes, I think, yeah, the only part of the map that was unexplored by us is Iceland. So, Icelanders as a race and Scandinavians combined some good, I say quite an interesting map of races from 1919. Because now we are at the end, just let me know your opinion. So, of course, if I